we never did that. I wasn't a CCO, I can't say that they did it or not.
Right.
But like you said, if you just look at it and who was what, primarily the East Coast and the Raymonds from the West Side, it kind of like, you know, stuck to the blue coat, to that blue rag. So the CCOs had all the rest of the big gangs. They was formidable. They had the 60s. They had the Grapes, the Comptons. They was the power that be. So in a sense, I'm not trying to justify what they was doing or put water on myth or sliding Constitution, but just like you said, when you came to prison as a Raymond, unless you declared you was a BGF or a CCO or some other kind of penitentiary organization like a Vanguard, the police, and everybody else gonna look at you as a blue note, right? Simply because the people that were instrumental in forming this organization to protect this blue rag was primarily made up of, you know, blue note. I'm not gonna say, you know, I mean, I'm primarily made up of Raymond Avenue Crips, you know, and you know, joined in by you know, a bunch of other well-known Crips. But when the Raymonds came, you know, it was a non-brainer. I mean, it was a no-brainer. You know, if I'm in there, I'm in the jam, and I see Lil Crazy over another tier, and you a Raymond, but I'm a Raymond too, and you got respect for me. So, you know, I need you to do this. I need you to handle this. So, you know, you might be doing it in the name of Blue Note, but you really doing it in your mind in the name of Raymond. You know, you doing it in the name of Crip. But the overall administrations in prisons don't look at you as a blue note. You didn't have no choice, although you've never seen a constitution. But because all of your, I mean, when I say every last single one of your OG homeboys, and there was a lot of them in there at the time, they were all, you know, representing this blue rag to the fullest.
Right, then for me being in the cell with your brother LaVille, that just said, everybody just looked at me like, oh hell yeah. We did the whole 92 in corporate shoot, and we both left and went to the base. So when I got up there, you know, I got all kind of people just seeing us busting down, Snoop, Big Coop, me and LaVille, them up there, Chaos, we up here doing our thing, but automatically people like, oh, them blue notes. It's like, okay, I'm never running around telling nobody I'm a blue note. I'm from Raymond, bro. And I know people from Faux Trade, different people, they have the tattoos, BNCO on them, all that, and they be like, oh yeah, you from Raymond, oh, what's up, homie, you the homie, my folks. You know, I just went along with it. I'm like, cause this is my homie started.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's the way it goes. We just fell in line with it. You know what I mean? That's the reality of it for us.
But just like you, Crazy, I never, when I was in prison the whole time, of course, the whole world, all the Crip world knows exactly who I am and what I was. You know, I was a general out there, and a lot of homies still refer to me as the general. For the Blue Note Crips, you know, but I didn't never denounce my Raymond Avenue Association. So, you know, I know other homeboys went to, you know, being out there with tattoos with BNCO all on them, you know, the symbol, the Blue Note symbol. But me, myself, every Crip meeting that I attended in prison, and it was a bunch of them, I always represented myself as Raymond Spark, this Raymond Avenue Crip. Although I was pushing, you know, the line for the notes because I felt like there was no distinction between the two as far as what they wanted to do in Crip. We was, you know, basically trying to build our brand like it was supposed to be built.
Right. That's still going. I think that what y'all did, man, y'all made history. You definitely made history. You're down in the history books with this Blue Note Crip organization. What along with this Raymond Avenue Crip, and just for us to fall in line and go along with it, it's just like you said, certain things was going on in there when I was in there. Certain things we did do when we was in there, and that's how we was perceived, looked at, like, that's what you is.
You know, I'm not trying to build myself up or us up as Blue Note or as a Crip, but we overcame some true obstacles and barriers, and as a result of that, the homies now today, to this day, is able to go in prison and represent their hood, with no recrimination. They don't understand how that was at jeopardy, nor would they ever believe it, looking at how formidable the Crips are worldwide now. But back in them days, believe me, we went out there and put our ass on the line, so the homies can come in here and go anywhere else and be free to represent
Pave the way.
what this is all the way, what this is about. And maybe one day that'll be told, that story will be told. It's hope, it's just so much being written about the exploits of the Crips by so many different entities. And I'm pretty sure you can tap in with, thousands of Crips everywhere that had their experiences. But if you want to tap into the early experiences of Blue Notes and CCOs and that kind of stuff, you really need to check with the sources.
Right, that's you.
Well, yeah, as far as Blue Note is concerned, Raymond Avenue Crip, and I know a lot about Cripping per se.
Right.
Now, let me put, while we out here though,
Yes.
let me put this out there in the universe. This is my perspective. This may not be the CCO perspective. It may not be some other Blue Notes perspective. We did what we thought was right. And I, to this day, will give my life 3-4 times to do it over again, because that's what I believed in. But in doing what we did, it kind of it did destroy our trust within one another. And that I have regret for, because before the Blue Notes and the CCOs, we had so much love and honor and trust among one another. As Crips, I've been cripping long enough to have seen when we was together and seen when we were at each other. And when we're together, we can't be touched by nothing. So what happened in that situation was, the streets pretty much got a bitter taste of the whole thing because the trust was killed between us as Crips. I used to be able to go everywhere. I mean, to Compton, East Side, and I used to enjoy going to other hoods and just, doing what we do. But that destroyed that,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because it's like the division that came with that.
Yeah.
And all these dudes, like you say, you come up with, now you're in prison and they on this side and you're on this side, now y'all warring. How long did that war last in there?
That war lasted from 1984 to 1980, about 3 years. 1987, we finally put it to rest.
So once the war was over, you pretty much think the whole Blue Note movement was pretty much over?
The movement is not gonna never be over because Blue Note is Crip. I mean, they synonymous with one another. Yeah, I mean, as far as Blue Note going out there and being a factor in Cripping in today's world, now, Blue Note the essence of it is still very much alive and present in the minds and hearts of Crips. So Blue Note is not going nowhere. I mean, Blue Note it's not an organization that's built on numbers. It's an organization built to advance the Blue Rag and advance those that's with the Blue Rag. I mean, they're not gangbangers. They don't go out and create wars with other blacks and stuff like that. All they doing is trying to take Crip from where they are to where they should be in their eyes. But no, it'll never. Blue Note is sealed in eternity. It'll never go nowhere based on the struggles they went through and what they was all about, and come another threat to that Blue Rag that's needed with them as far as to protect that. They will be heard from, but no, they're not out there trying to dictate what's going on in your neighborhood or my neighborhood.
What you think about like you got the younger generations now that's popping up. Like when I failed my last term, I got the life sentence. I was going to Compton Court, so I've seen like some cats in Compton Court, and I'm in the holding tank. I'm hearing we CCO, so I'm just listening to this. I'm like, this is like '96.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you still advocating that. So when you see people still advocating, like I'm Blue Note, I'm CCO. What do you think about that today, in 2021?
Well, it just confused youngsters, man. I mean,
Yeah.
when you from 15 to 35, you're in your warrior years.
Yeah.
So, and they go in there, they think, and a lot of them think it's a game. All of them come in there and want to find, a way to get their name, out there, and they say and do stupid things.
Yeah.
It don't last long enough against the real. I mean, it'll get squashed out when they get to a proper venue. But things like the county jail street, hey, you can say and profess what you want. That don't make it real. But in that sense, that's the kind of thing that I regret always is that you got that division within us. You got that fratricide jumping off, and that was part of the legacy of that war between two brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we were. You're right. I was in there. People I used to Crip with. They on the other side, and here I am. Crafting ways to put a knife in.
The people you come up with.
Yeah, point blank. So, and they was doing the same to me,
Yeah.
And it's regrettable. It should have never went there, but it did. The genie's out, and there's no way to put it back in, and then you're gonna have people that's gonna come along and exacerbate that and basically do a lot of negativity with it when it was both of them at the heart of what we was doing in Crippin, had Crippin, in their heart to do what they thought Crippin needed to be done. That's basically my take on that.